Hello, everyone, and welcome to another GoDaddy Pro EMEA meetup. To learn more about how GoDaddy Pro saves time for web developers and designers, check out the link in the chat. Feel free to introduce yourself or ask questions in the chat. There are already some questions in the question and answer section, which we have prepared for today. This session will be recorded, and the recording will be available at GoDaddy Pro YouTube channel. Should you get a survey email too, please be kind to answer a couple of questions for us because it means to us in order to know how to improve and present better topics or discussions or different types of events what you would like to see with us. Last time we met in February and we spoke then about the power of inclusive language. Today we'll be talking about the improvements and changes that 6.2 updates brings to WordPress. We have Courtney and George with us. Hi, Courtney. Hi, George.
Hello.
And they are going to be our main speakers for the event. This is why I would like to ask Courtney to introduce herself first and tell us more how she contributes to WordPress.
Hey, folks. I'm a developer advocate here at GoDaddy Pro. In addition to the work I do internally, I also get to contribute. It's an honor to be able to contribute to the WordPress training team. And I stay really close to what's going on in the release process from the perspective of training and docs and making sure that we're aware of changes that are coming up and that we track all of those changes across WordPress.org where things need to be updated or revised with each release. So I've had the release on my mind a lot lately, and I'll turn it over to George. Can you tell us what you do?
Hi, everyone. I'm George. I'm full-time sponsored contributor working on core. I primarily focus on WordPress block editor, aka Gutenberg, and I'm a editor tech co-lead for 6.2. And like Courtney, release has been on my mind a lot last couple months. So.
The big release is tomorrow, by the way, folks. So George and I will hopefully get some reprieve, although usually the first couple of days after, we're still watching it all roll out.
Yeah, and hope nothing breaks. No, but we are safe with the 4 betas, for our release candidates now. Everything looks stable.
Well, if if our viewers have been testing in beta, it will be really great if they haven't submitted their comments. Maybe they can submit the comments now so we can check them as well. To start this event, George, since it's the core update, I wanted to what is your regular role in Gutenberg team, actually in the core team? Since you are a contributor, I'm sure there are many people who might be thinking like, maybe I don't have the relevant skills to help in the core. Could you tell us at least how your day looks like, what your colleagues and you are doing, what are the different tasks among you that you get on a daily basis?
Sure. So Gutenberg project is being developed on GitHub. So my day is mostly spent on GitHub watching in Gutenberg repository. I think like a lot of core developers are trying to highlight that you don't need to have technical skills or like technical skills are not required to actually contribute. Even when you test it and like support feature requests or bug reports, that's we also count that as contributions, and then people with the relative skills or people who are familiar with that area can go in, look at your reports, and make that fix happen and ship in next WordPress release. Or we always try to ship fixes as fast as possible, but sometimes those are more involved fixes, so we try to be careful with them and maybe test them out first in Gutenberg plugin. So if you want to contribute to Gutenberg and WordPress project, you can download the latest version of the plugin, which usually has new features that are still in development and help testing on them. But my day is usually spent on the GitHub repo, as I mentioned before, and working on new features or fixing the bugs that users submitted or bugs I discovered myself. From the code-wise, it involves a lot of React nowadays, but respectively PHP changes and updates. So that's where that's how I split my coding between it's JavaScript / React framework and PHP side of WordPress.
What are the regular tasks that you are, for instance, doing daily? Are you checking some issues or checking tickets or?
Yeah. So me and a few folks, we are on the triage team. So we monitor new issues, make sure they have correct labels. And sometimes people submit issues that are already known. So we reply that this issue has been submitted, mark them as duplicates, and try to close the duplicate issues, because sometimes previous issues have more context because it's been discussed for a while and there are more details sharing them. So we just interlink those new issues to the old ones and then close them with respectful messages so people are aware, like we are not ignoring their feedback. Also, that triage keeps issue numbers down. I know that a lot of people are afraid of the number of the issues we have on the Gutenberg repository, but big part of that is just feature requests that people so don't have time to get around or implement them, or maybe that's something is scheduled for the future, like with new phases of the editor. That's what they're officially called. So yeah, I'm having a large number of issues aren't necessarily a bad thing. So people want to have new features, new types of blogs, and they are submitting them, and we try to keep them open as long as they are relevant. So we don't go and like automatically close the issues, because we value feedback that users and developers provide to us. So issues can stay open as long as they are needed, and that's not a bad thing, at least in my opinion. And
This
we
is
also host
incredible.
the bug swap sessions with Nick, Diego, and I. We host bug swap sessions weekly. So we go through issues that have been submitted, but still need confirmation. So like we test that exact scenario, and then, okay, this is the real bug, or this is the valid feature request. But it's we try to get through as many as possible, but it's still just like an hour a week, so it's not enough time to go through all of that. But we, persistence makes things better. So we are trying to be persistent in this case and trying to improve that.
All right. Tell me, Courtney.
I have a couple questions for George, actually. George, do you know what versions of the Gutenberg plugin? Gutenberg plugin is always being developed. They have a release about every other week, unless there's holidays or something like that going on. And when we get through enough of those releases, then they merge into WordPress core for a big WordPress release. Can you tell me what versions, or at least the latest version of Gutenberg that is shipping in this coming release?
Yeah, so there is no fixed number of releases we are aiming to do before each WordPress release. It's basically that we are dependent on the WordPress releases timeline. So before beta, the last release of the plugin goes in, and all the features that except experimental ones will be in the WordPress. So last couple of years, it's roughly 10 versions of the plugin. So this release will include versions from 14.2 through 15.1. So the 15.1 is the latest plugin release. But we also, it's called cherry picking. It's not a technical term. I'm not sure about the etymology, but probably it has some roots, probably in English language.
Yeah,
so,
it does.
Yeah. So we also cherry pick the fixes that might ship later, but we want to make sure they are included in the WordPress to make user experience better.
Right. Yes.
So roughly 10 versions, and it's going to be 14.2 through 15.1.
Right.
And then next, like 6.3 will include maybe another 8 or 10 releases again. So that's kind of rough estimate for us.
Yeah. So we'll see those features. And I encourage folks to, like George said, get the plugin. If you would like to contribute early and often, the best time and place to do that is to be familiar with the Gutenberg plugin itself and what features are going on in that plugin before they get merged into a big release, because that's the time where the feedback is always valuable, but that's the time where there is enough lead time for the devs to get in and do their work from there. So we've talked a little about a beta or an RC release. Can you explain what those terms mean in terms of shipping WordPress 6.2? What's a beta release? What's a release candidate? And how can folks get involved in that part of the process?
Sure. So it starts with beta. There's alpha, which is basically bleeding edge. That's what if you use the beta tester plugin, that's what it's called in the settings. Alpha means that things are not that stable yet. So there might be some things might be broken. So we don't recommend running alphas on any production website. Betas, as it goes, they are more stable. There might be still some bug fixes that are getting worked on. But it's way more stable than alpha. Release candidate, as I think it's also documented in the release guidelines. Release candidates are as close to final version of the WordPress as it can be. And there might be like some small regressions that we'll fix, but our release candidates are 99% close to being final. So we are very careful, even what bug fixes we might ship with RC, so to avoid any type of introducing new regressions. And also there's the hard string freeze. So when RC release came out, you can start translating WordPress in your own language, and those strings won't change. So you can be sure that your work won't be lost with the string changes.
Yeah, that's really important. The Polyglots team is the folks that get busy on all of that interface language. When you're inside the WordPress dashboard and you see the sidebar or something like that, they are the folks that make sure that we have it in the proper languages, and they need to get working on the about page. When you first load the new version, there's always an about page, and they have to translate all of that content. So they need lead time to get that done. Yeah. And likewise at RC is when docs and training team are really able to dig in and start taking screenshots and videos, because we need to make sure that the content really is going to ship. So both of those teams really get busy at string freeze as well with RCs. So that's kind of what those terms mean in terms of the project. What it means in terms of the audience, I'm going to actually jump in and start sharing some things with the audience here. So let me grab my share screen and I'll get us in and do a demo a bit of what we're doing. Folks, please do stop and ask questions along the way. The first thing that I'm going to do, it looks like you all can see my screen now, is I'm going to share one link, and I've dropped it into the chat, or I will drop it into the chat. A lot of what I'm going to show is actually here in the test team's site. They've put together a good set of directions. And if you have seen Rich Tabor and Ann did a demo of this, I've given one other presentation similar to this, but a little different from GoDaddy Pro, and shared at a meetup group or two. A lot of the new features that are user-facing you're going to find in this particular document. We'll make sure to toss back over and show you the field guide in a bit. But this document shows you a lot of the user-facing parts. And we're still working on the site editor. So Gutenberg Phase 1 was inside of posts and pages mostly. Gutenberg Phase 2 is handling the themes area, getting the look of your site, the site editor piece done. So we see a lot of the directions there, and I've dropped the link into the chat. And when Maya posts the replay, I can help with making sure we get those links everywhere. So if you'd like to come back and see this at any time, you're welcome to do so. This article is a great way for you to run through these tests. And I bring all of this up now because when we ship a beta or an RC, this is a good example of things that you can go test and see how that's working according to the last update. And we do these usually on Tuesdays, usually close to 17 UTC. Sometimes things shift just a little bit, but you can find more information about that by lurking in the Make WordPress Core channel. Folks are welcome to join along with us to run these updates. And part of the test is to see how many people we can get to run an update to test the latest beta or RC. And part of it is to go in and try these features out and get yourself familiar for yourself and or possibly your client sites to know what these features are. And then later you can also interact and see how does this work with additional plugins, themes, etc. I have already dropped in app.instawp link. There is a link, app.instawp, that I will drop into our chat area here now. But also we could share this on our Bevy replay page in case you have missed it. But this particular link, Vikas over at InstaWP has given use of for our cases. It will spin up a site like this in about 30 seconds, maybe less. And inside of it, for a demonstration's sake, it's got all the posts, pages, etc. And then during a release, in these release parties that I'm describing, they are a Slack chat meeting. I run the update for the main site that these are all cloned from. And so I've got a version that's specific to beta and RC. It will give you a site that's already got all of these posts, pages, media, library, etc. So you don't have to worry about the content being in the site for you to practice running through these tests or setting up a space. We do not recommend that you ever do any of this stuff on a live site unless you really like to live on bleeding edge. And I know a couple of core committers that do that on their personal sites, but I don't recommend it for our customers or clients to do live. You always get somewhere safe to practice. So that to say, inside of this, just to give you an idea of what you're going to get before I dig into the demo, you will see that there's a long list of typically dev-oriented plugins that are here, with the only thing that is active being the WordPress beta tester plugin. So you've got some other resources there if you're a dev and you want to turn on debugger and take a look at something, you know, those are options. The beta tester plugin gives us this area over in tools that allows us to have the most recent beta or RC version. And I've got those settings configured for you. So you've got the most recent version. It's at RC4. And I can see that in my lower right-hand side of my screen. So that's good and done. I'm going to dig in just kind of quickly into a couple of the features that are coming, and then George and I will kind of toss things back and forth. So if I go to this is running, by the way, our latest default theme, which is 2023. That's already active for you. So if I go to appearance and then editor, first thing you'll notice is that it kind of comes in a little differently than it used to. We've got this area on the left side and these rounded corners. If you had tested a little bit earlier, there might have been a navigation area that showed here that was polls between, I think, RC2 and 3. And there's a post over on Core's site about that one. Some of those features weren't completely ready yet. But if I were, first, I like to tell people that are maybe new to site editor, let's get an orientation if you're really new to site editor. This is the WordPress icon, but if you change your site logo, that will change. But that's how you get back to the dashboard. So that's always important to know. First thing everybody likes to know is, how do I get out of this if I need to? And the way to do that is to go to the site icon in the top, because the dashboard wording here doesn't show up anymore in this release. Also, I forgot to mention that the editor did not say beta beside it. That red bubble that used to say beta. Here is a version of this if I were in... Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Hold on. That was where I wanted to be for that one. This version is WordPress 6.1, and you could see there's the editor, right? So in 6.1, beta label is there. In newer versions, beta label is gone. So we're saying that it's prime time, I guess. So I'm going to show us very briefly the navigation menu. So I first will turn on this list view. It looks kind of like a staircase. And the list view pops out what's on the left-hand side. And that helps me know a couple of things. You'll see that our template parts, things that we reuse over and over, a template part like header or footer that you might use many times on the site, is now color-coded to a really vibrant purple. And so that's a little bit easier to locate. And it's easier inside of this to, when you're using list view, to get to the things that you need to get to. Right. So if you find clicking on navigation to be a little challenging, and I'll zoom out just a smidge here so it doesn't give me that mobile breakpoint. If you find it hard to get to the navigation menu otherwise, use the list view and dig in. When I go to hit this plus icon, it will show me also, if I get it correctly on the navigation menu, it shows me some new stuff also going on the right-hand side of my screen. That area, I have open the settings panel. So the icon for settings has changed, and that slides out the right-hand side. And in there, you'll see that the settings now have 3 tabs. Some blocks will have 2, some may only have 1 tab that's there, and so it won't be labeled. The navigation block has 3. It looks like the list view that you see over here. We have the settings, the old settings icon now nested inside of the settings sidebar. And then we've got the styles area. So this is new, and I like it for the sake of the navigation menu in particular seems to be our most challenging block inside of Site Editor and getting the user experience to really land. So in this case, I'm going to pull in, it says your menu is currently empty. Add your first menu to get started. So I actually have a menu. Let's see here. There is a way. Hold on. It just did an add link. I'm going to go back to this one. There is a way to add old. Here it is under the 3 dots kebab. Because I've already installed the theme unit test data, we can pull in old menus, and I sometimes forget that that's there, even though I've given this presentation a few times. So have no fear if the navigation block is still a little interesting for you. You could still get there. So where it says menu, on the right side, we have 3 dots that is a kebab menu. And in the US, North America, people aren't as often aware that that's actually the term for those 3 dots. So kebab menu, and this gives you import a menu that you had from a classic theme. And I'll pull in the, let's see, short. So now I've got a basic menu because I had old menus from other versions that are there. So many kebab menus. Yeah, Maya, it's like lunchtime here. I'm getting hungry for a kebab menu. So I brought in this, and you can see that those areas are on the right side. And inside of that, if I wanted to do any fun styling with things, I could get in and do some of those. I can jump through the tabs and see what options are available to me in those locations. But also, I'm going to turn off the list view while I'm here and make sure that let's see. Yeah. So I have that, and I'm going to hit save on this. But while I'm here, one of the other tricks that's going on that's a new feature is the sticky nav and the sticky block. And there is a little bit of a workaround, we'll say, this time through on this release. And so the trick is that, the only place I have ever wanted to make something sticky was my header in my site. So if I want to have my logo and my nav menu and whatever I've stuck in the header template area to stick to the top so that when users scroll, they always see that, then the way to do that this time, and in the future, we'll probably land it a little bit better. Various blocks can be made to be sticky. The blocks need to be inside of a group. Is that correct? I think they have to be in a group. And this time through, for it to work, if you make your header a group, then you will, all I did was go to the kebab menu. Maya's going to get hungry as I say this over and over. Go to the kebab menu for header and then toggle that and make it a group. And so once I have it inside of a group, then over on the right-hand side for the settings of that group, I can go to position and select sticky. And once I hit save, now our site's not fully baked yet, we'll just say. But once I hit save, and then I'm going to view that in the live browser. Now, when I go scrolling around, we've got some work to do to finalize this, but you could see oh yeah, that header is definitely sticking. I might need to change my background color and some other things, but the header is definitely sticking at the top. So we're on our way to something. So that's kind of helpful. And then one of the other things that's in there is to show, let's see. One of the other things there that I should show off very briefly is if I am in, let's close out this tab. If I happen to be inside of editing some template in my site and I change something where I might want to go into the styles and give it, I don't know, I'll change the opacity or something like that. Wow, that picked the George. What I'm trying to get at is selecting the exact block that would allow me to do an apply globally. I think I need from not the styles, but the
It's no, it will be block settings in advanced, and it should say apply globally.
block advanced. There it is. Yeah, you're right. There we go.
But
And
I
so
think it
if
shouldn't.
I'll do
Yeah,
something
for
like
future
open a
image.
new tab or something that it will prompt it to let me
It
do.
applies on the styles because other settings are super block specific, so it works for styles only, styles
Yeah,
and dimensions.
styles and dimensions. I gotcha.
Yeah,
So is there a specific block on my page I should do? I should try to change.
I think
There
easy like things that you might
we
want to
go.
use globally can be like headers, so you can change colors.
Yeah. Okay. So on some blocks, you'll start seeing, and you see, even as many times as I've done this demo, I still am like, which blocks does that apply to? I think we'll start seeing more of that, but we don't have it on. It's being introduced for this release. We'll say
Yeah,
that. So if I were to go in and change the settings of, let's say, my text color blue, great. And now if I wanted all of my headings to get that same treatment, I could hit the apply globally option. And important to note, we are in Site Editor. Site Editor is available to admins. Site Editor is, I don't believe, available to someone that's just an author, right? So know your audience as to who can get over here to begin with. And they should be knowledgeable that if they hit this apply globally, that it's going to apply globally. So it's going to apply it to all of the times that we get at H1 in particular. All the H1s will now get that treatment. So you can ship and apply globally and you're off and going. The next area, super fast to show you, is the styles. And there's a couple fun things in the styles. One is the style book. And the style book gives you a nice preview. You'll see here are my headings. And since I did that apply globally, you'll now see blue in all those places. The media here, design. And while we're in this design area, I will show us, if we go into blocks, I'm looking, so I pulled up the style book, the eye icon. I go to design. I look at, here's the button layout, and I'll scroll down to where we see button singular, not buttons plural, button singular. And from there, we get this cool shadow option now. And the shadow option, if you know your CSS, you know about box shadows. It lets you select an element and apply box shadow and say, I would like to have it do a drop gray to the right, or I would like this cool outline kind of an experience that's here. Right now, that only applies to a singular button. I like having shadows on my personal site behind each of my, I'm using a query loop and I've got the article preview in a 6-tile layout. So I manually went into the CSS to do that. But in this, I don't have to go manually to the CSS to do it. So there's the shadow option for a singular button. But we're, again, I believe, George, you might know better than me, that will come to other areas as well.
yeah. So currently, it's only available for buttons, which makes more sense because if you scout the website designs, buttons are one of those HTML elements that use shadows more often than not.
Right.
So now you can provide presets for your theme. So let's say like, oh, this is the 3 shadow presets that will look great with the general theme design. And in future, there will be option to actually define those shadows with the UI. So this is editor testing the water. So let's see how this feature will be used, and then in future we provide more options.
Yeah. This preview at the top is also one of those other newer features that we can see as well. So you get that little effect. If you're not looking at the style book here, it still gives you a preview of that item that you've just been changing, which is also pretty helpful to see. So just noting that that too is a bit of a new feature in this one. And so with that said, style book and one final one, additional CSS, are probably a tie for my favorite features in this release. The style book giving me that easy preview while I'm going through all of the things and setting every color, size, spacing I would like to set. The other thing that gets to be really nice is I can go either to additional CSS to change and apply any custom CSS to my whole site. We've been begging for this since we jumped into Site Editor. We had it in Customizer, give me that additional CSS for me to do some overrides. But if I were not in there, I could jump into blocks and I'll grab that navigation the single button option as well. But what you see when you're inside of one of those specific blocks is you can apply CSS to that specific block. It will apply to everywhere that is. Additional CSS from the kebab menu applies to the entire site editor, to everything that you've got going on. So that's great. But immediately the page builder community, when I started showing these features off, was like, wait, it's going to get confusing like it is over in the page builder world, finding out exactly where we put that one CSS. I saw that there is a ticket for a later release that will list every place that you've tucked some custom CSS. I'm hoping we see that ship in 6.3, George. I don't know if you can pull some strings.
I mean, the CSS is put in, it's a single place. So global will be on every page.
Right.
Blocks will be, it will be on every page right now, if I remember correctly. But in the future, it might be when that block is used on the page, then we only render there.
Right.
But,
so it would make sense then
if
for performance, it would make sense then for people to potentially tuck the items into the CSS that only applies to that block if we go that direction in future releases.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will be editor. The WordPress will be more smarter when to load the CSS, so not to introduce. We don't want to ship things that are not used by the page on that page to reduce time for the first byte, etc. To give you better performance out of the box. So in future, currently, if you're using full site edit block theme, those default styles for the blocks won't be loaded on the page unless that block is used. So we probably will apply this similar method to custom CSS per block basis.
That's amazing. I like that insight of the time to performance. That's, time to load first byte and then the performance that's related with that. That makes a lot more sense why we have all of those additional little spots and a good way to respond to, yes, but it's hard to track it down. Well, hopefully soon it won't be. So that's great. So George, what are your favorite features coming out in this release? I'll stop sharing my screen for a moment. I want to hear what your thoughts are.
I'm really excited about React 18 update, but it has an update in architecture which people should not care that much, but for us who are working with React daily, it means that we can use some new APIs and ship better product. And that's only going to improve with next versions of React. So this is this release been in the works for a few years, as far as I know, and now they finally did it. And there's a great post on the great dev notes that explains what's changed, what changes might be important for WordPress developers who build blogs with React. So it has good examples and how to avoid common pitfalls. And there's only one, so it's not probably 90. I don't know. It's a really rare case that you're gonna hit that pitfall. So that's cool. But I'm excited. I'm really excited about this because it took us a while, probably a few months, to actually ship this update with the WordPress and make sure nothing breaks and everything is backwards compatible. So seeing that work finished and getting out of the door was really rewarding for me. I have not worked on it myself, but I helped with testing, so that's cool.
That's awesome.
And I think last week I shipped 2 refactoring PRs that uses new APIs from React 18. So it was really cool to work on that.
Yeah, I've heard from a couple of developers like Aruba that she's already starting to build with React 18
Yeah,
components into what she's been doing, and that's been really amazing to see how much improvement that is in the code itself when you're creating, because you could do a
yeah,
lot more things more efficiently.
yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah, I think I saw the recommendation documentation improvements from Aruba and a few other folks over the weekend, or
yeah,
I think it was last Friday. So basically, how to make things more backwards compatible, so you can
yeah.
do with the React 17 and React 18 same times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a lot of what I was seeing too. I dropped a link into the chat for folks for the entire WordPress field guide for this one. Developers, I would put aside some time, grab a nice cup of coffee, sit down and read through this. There's a lot of goodies that are in there. There's a new HTML API that's coming. George, are you able to put into plain language what that does? I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know.
So there was a decision made to kind of build this API from scratch instead of using some of the features that are mostly available in all PHP installations, but uh, with um, with so many different hosts, you can never bet on that API, which is called DOM document, which allows you to parse and update the HTML provided by the page. So this is used by some of the blocks in core now, so we can change the HTML attributes without asking users to update their content. So
Right.
that's kind of it's a more future-proof way to introduce some changes to the blocks markup without without users being worried that they have to update their old posts on or pages, etc. Um,
Yeah.
and I saw the stats, and it's pretty fast API, and it's also reliable. So like it will be available all the time. Every time you have like latest WordPress installation on your servers, instead of
Oh.
guessing if some of the WordPress APIs are disabled by hosts or not.
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
Yeah.
I was talking also over the weekend. I did some show prep notes ahead, but I got some feedback from the field. I was at WordCamp Phoenix, and I was hearing Andy Fragan, who a lot of us know for running the beta tester plugin that I was using to
Yeah.
to do this. Andy helps with the beta tester plugin. Andy is super excited about the move directory that is
Right.
coming and how
Yes.
that's going to help the plugin system quite a lot.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. I think I've seen excitement there on this improvement as well.
yeah.
So it is great.
One of the things that actually was also an offbeat option that is exciting me for those that are connected with a plugin, probably especially that sends an email for things like I used to work at Event Tickets and the events calendar. And both of those plugins do some work around sending emails. And there's an improvement around the WP mail function that is shipping in this release. That's actually less Gutenberg and probably a ticket that's been sitting in track for a decade.
Yeah.
But there's change coming. And so
Yeah.
if you're working in those areas, that's an offbeat one that didn't even make it into the dev email that went out to plugin authors. But I would recommend that folks really sit down and read through that field guide because it's going to help. There's a lot of little bits of things, and you want to get that if you're as a plugin or a theme dev, you're going to want to get that on the roadmap of things that you're working on, some of these
Yeah.
features that we're talking about. And I loved during the demo that Anne and Rich did that Anne gave a call out to plugins will be able to start hooking in to the styles area. Like you saw that I had 3 tabs open. You might start seeing more plugins as they become site editor ready, tucking some features into that area. Because for a long time we were advocating plugins should tuck their features into customizer, right? And now we're saying here's site editor where you could go put some of those additional settings. So those are some neat features. I'm going to share my screen again and show just a few more features that are from in the post editor experience that we're going to see that are a little bit differently. And it's going to take explaining a couple things. So in the post editor, we see some changes. Let's practice hitting that WordPress icon and I will press it again to get back into my dashboard. I will go to posts and hit add new and test post in there. And now I want to hit this plus icon. This all looks kind of the same as we saw before.
Courtney,
Yes, Maya.
Courtney, we can still.
Oh,
we can
you've
see
got the
word.
wrong one. You're seeing my show notes instead of the actual correct screen. Thanks for that. Yeah, I want this one. So I jumped out. Let's see. That's the screen. So I'm now in just creating a post. And for the post area, I have gone to the plus icon in the top left. Our blocks all look like they basically have for some time. But if I go to add a pattern, that's looking a little different this time around. What we see here is the way that the categories are organized are showing up a little differently. And if I were to look through any one of these things and press the option to expand them further, you'll see that the query loop has some more that are in here. The query loop being show this preview. We get this cool effect like show me the titles of posts if I wanted to put a query loop in there for some reason. So some of these features are new as well. But also, so that patterns area is a big new feature. And I can select explore all patterns. This shipped a release or two ago and dig in further and get kind of a bigger preview if I would like to. As you're creating patterns, you can register those patterns you're creating, and our plugin CoBlocks helps you with that. And I can pull an article up to kind of share some of that. But it will help you as a low-code way to register a pattern, or if you want to dev a pattern yourself, that's fine. You can create additional categories here and look into those experiences of how they will display. But in addition to that, I'm going to undo. The other part that looks a little different is the media. I like where this is going. So phase 3, we're going to be seeing the rest of the WordPress admin interface get blockified. That's also going to lead to collaboration and some more things. But I love the idea that I can start going through my images. Instead of having to load the media library, I could kind of go through this way and see things that have recently happened, or videos or audio. And the content that you see here, those little bits of content are all part of the theme unit test data that I've uploaded. That's default material that comes with this. So this, because this is a demo site, that I've already got those displayed. But the next one is Openverse. And Openverse gets a little tricky for folks. So before I demonstrate what that one does, I want to show us first what Openverse is. Openverse.org. And this is the Openverse system. It's part of WordPress.org. Automatic acquired it and tucked it on into being one of the 21 teams inside of WordPress.org. So the WordPress Openverse project allows you to search for a couple different kinds of media. And it does not host that media. It just looks all over the internet for where that media came from. So I'm going to search for a WAPU, and it's going to scour the internet for images of WAPUs. Some of these, like this one, are my coworker Sandy, dressed up as WAPU at a WordCamp. I think that's fantastic. But some of those sources of those come from WordPress.org/photos. So these media sources are Creatively Commons licensed as CC0, meaning you could take and apply it to whatever you would like to do with or without attribution. There are rules around the WordPress photos library. This is where some of the media gets stored. So Openverse is just a search engine for CC0 media that it can pick up so far, and you can make use of. WordPress.org/photos is kind of like Flickr or other places people can go to host their Creative Commons licensed material. The rules around WordPress.org/photos that are managed by the WordPress Photos team, my coworker Marcus, who hosts our America version of this particular meetup, vet the material that's uploaded. We don't do faces. We don't have any audio or video that's here at this time. But I could go here and search for things too. But let's say that I don't feel like going to a search engine to go get my little WAPU and put it in my post. I am feeling like I just want to stay in my post to get this. So what I can do is hit the plus icon and go to media, go down to Openverse, and let's see what happens if I search for my little WAPU here. Oh, look, there's Sandy dressed up as WAPU. But we see this external image. What's that about? This is hot linking, and it's a concern. So what it's saying, in the past, we used to do some hot linking in the early days of the internet, and I was definitely one that did that, where someone else would be hosting the image and I'd embed it in my site. Concerning if I'm driving a lot of traffic and eating up their media resources. The flip side of it is sometimes people take images that are from not CC0 and upload them somewhere else, claiming they are CC0. And then there's some concerns. So right in the middle of the release cycle this time, people were expressing opinions in both directions. Do we do hot linking with Openverse, or do we not do that? And for right now, what we've got is this, which is a message that clarifies for you what's going on and helps you decide what you would like to do with that. If I'm going to insert it from here, it's going to come in just as there's my image. And I'll zoom back out a little so we don't have so much of Wapu taking up my screen space. I mean, I like both Wapu and the person inside this costume an awfully lot, but there's that. While I'm here, I'm actually also going to show us one of the things we could do. So I'm going to pull out the styles area, go over and say, let's get some rounded corners, and I'll give it a border. And yeah, that looks great. So now I've got a frame around my Wapu. That's fantastic. I will add in a second Wapu because one of the things I'm trying to figure out is what do we call when we have more than one Wapu? When we have, I don't know, dozens of Wapus. What's the term for a multitude of Wapus? Is it like a flock of geese? A herd of, I don't know. So if anyone has a good term for when we have multiple Wapus, let me know what that term might be. But I will go drop in this one that Shusei right before WordCamp Asia. So now I've got Wapu number 1 and Wapu number 2. I really like the picture frame around Wapu number 1. So I'm going to go with copy my style. And this is one of those new features. So I could say copy my style and jump down to this particular version of the image and say paste my style. And it says, do you want to allow the paste? Allow the paste. A WAPLock, says Nicola. I like that, WAPLock. It sounds like block locking, which George and I have discussed before. So now I've got 2 images and I just could easily copy paste my style. Now your photo frame may not be the thing that you want to do, but the reason this might be more appealing, I could see it for use on landing pages a lot. So that was a zippy fast run through of some of those features. I will drop in again a few more links that are here. Those are quite a few links for the WordPress photos directory, a tutorial from Learn WordPress that helps you understand how to use the photos and or contribute to it. Same thing with Openverse, the counterparts of those. So we just gave you quite a bit of those features, I guess, that's in there. And I want to ask Maya to come back up. I'll stop sharing my screen, see what questions other people have, see if Maya has any further questions for George and I.
I have tons of questions, and I'll start with the first one regarding these external images. Do we get a notification or something that the image has been taken away from any directory? For instance, let's say we wrote a blog, and then a year later, we know that the image perhaps is gone from the post. So how do we know when we need to renew the photo?
That's a great question. Both of us are thinking.
Yeah, I can try
I'm
to
glad.
No, there's no automatic notifications from the Openverse because they just host the index of the images as Courtney mentioned, scout from over the internet, which is shared the license CC0. But I think that was one of the main concerns, that you get this notification, and if the image can be downloaded and uploaded in the browser, WordPress actually will try to do that. So then it's kind of copies the image and it's hosted locally on the website. But some of the images have restrictions on the servers, which is commonly called coarse errors. So you cannot fetch data in the browser across websites for the security reasons. So that was like one of the implications, that images that are hosted externally can be gone one day, and then your site will look broken. Another one is as Courtney mentioned, is licensing issues, and some of the countries that's can be legally challenging. So then we notify users like this cannot be uploaded, so be careful how you use it and when you use it.
That's cool. Courtney, do you have anything to add to this answer?
No, I think that's good. Like it gets us thinking about, oh yeah, maybe we should have some notification system in case we hot link and then it goes away. That's a good point.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of SEO, because if a photo is moved, I don't know how that affects the SEO and the ranking.
Right. Yeah.
We still don't have questions from our current visitors of the event. So if that is the case, we will slowly wrap up our session today. In case you like how Courtney and George treat the errors or show new flows, please connect with them either on LinkedIn or on Twitter. I've posted earlier in the chat where the Twitter handles for both of them and mine as well. You can also ping me if you have any questions, so I'll be more than happy to forward those to any of them. And let's continue this conversation offline because it seems that the time is short. We can talk constantly, and I'm sure there are many more developments that 6.2 long. If you haven't showcased them, but you remember now, maybe that's actually a good topic for another show on what's new in 6.2. We couldn't. I'm sure we didn't cover them all, right?
yeah. It is hard to cover all the changes in an hour.
It is. It is. And I
Okay.
so appreciate having George along to share more from a developer's perspective, because a lot of this is I shared a lot of the user interface side of it, but there's a lot of features here that empower devs. For every release that we've got, we're putting more and more into the hands of devs. I'd encourage folks to also go check out on make.wordpress.org/core some of the vision that I forget if it was Matthias or Hector put forward. I think it was Matthias.
That's
For
Matthias,
Guten,
phase 2,
yeah,
phase 3.
yeah, for phase 3. So remember, according to the Gutenberg roadmap, we finished up phase 1 and 2 of, well, we haven't finished them. They're never really done.
Yeah.
We'll keep iterating upon them, but the bulk of the focus of the themes area was site 2, and now we're going to look at the rest of the admin interface for phase 3 and multilingual in phase 4. And phase 1 so far took us longer than phase 2. So we'll see. We're shortened the time on each phase. It feels like a little bit, which is good.
Indeed.
Before we close the session, I would like to invite everyone who is thinking still or is not sure whether they can or should contribute to WordPress. Everybody can contribute to WordPress. If you are a well-versed developer, then I would assume that George would be the right address to jump to. Or if you're more of a trainer and you're looking into training materials or any type of documentation or whatsoever, I think that Courtney would be the best person to speak to join co-leads of the Make team, and George as well has been the lead for several updates, right, and versions of WordPress. So don't leave it for another time because maybe exactly your contribution could make the change to what we were discussing today. So George and Courtney, thank you very much for your time
Thank
today.
you, Maya.
Thank
Join
you
us
for having
tomorrow
me.
if you're watching now. Everyone is invited to join us tomorrow for the official release. It's happening in the Make WordPress Core Slack channel. And once the party starts, it's a good time on release days. It's a lot of fun on release days. But once the party starts, we don't speak publicly of it until the official post is live on wordpress.org/news. If you're watching this after the fact, join us the next time around at beta release.
That would be awesome.
Yes.
George,
Those
what
parties are
about what's
always
the last
nice.
message? All right, so I'm sure George and Courtney are going to have a hell of a day tomorrow, and I'm sure everything that can go wrong will go wrong. But we
No,
will enjoy.
All good.
But we
Everything
will
is
enjoy.
we're good. We're ready.
But we're waiting for the fun moments tomorrow, right? Besides learning
Yeah.
as well. So if you need any help of ours, we'll be more than happy to to help you out. If you can help us, if you want to speak at meetups, if you think your knowledge is sufficient to give a value to someone else, please give me a hint, and I'll be more than happy to get in touch with you. Other than that, today it's Monday 26th, no 27th of March, and this is the closing session for the March. Next time we will meet in April with a new topic. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
everyone. Bye.